top 10 MCs of 2011.
That's brave, cuz. If you were a shower man, take off Devious.
No. I'm putting in motherfucking English Frank. Understand that now.
At the moment, you got up there Pro Green, English Frank, Krept Konan, Giggz, Ghetts, Skepta, LowKey, K.Koke. Who would you take off and who would you replace it with?
This might be a little controversial, but fuck it anyway. I'm taking off English Frank, yeah.
Oh, come on, cuz.
And I'm putting Pepstar.
Yeah!
Pepstar, yeah, he has this grimy Ryan Leslie thing about him where he's producing his own beats and he's spitting over his own stuff and he's just got a certain vibe about him that I like. He's good.
He's a natural talent.
You heard his bar on tunes? He's like, the girl said to me, I got a boyfriend. I said, how long you had that problem? When I heard that, it inspired me, big man.
He's been a little bit under the radar, but he's been high enough for people to be paying attention to what he's doing. He's a sick producer, he's a sick rapper, and you see video clips of him making beats and then at the end spitting on them, which is sick. He's just doing something a little bit different. He's going to carry that on into next year and have a good year.
I am going to take down Pro Green and I'm going to put up Krept Konan because for me, that's who I've listened to this year. That's what I've enjoyed more. I love Pro Green as a lyricist. However, the stuff that he's putting out right now isn't particularly what I choose to listen to. Whereas Krept Konan put out loads of stuff this year that I've been banging non-stop.
You don't feel that Professor Green should be in top 10 MCs?
For me,
no.
You said Krept Konan's been producing some stuff that you've been banging this year.
I've been listening to this year.
How's this guy gonna come up and disrupt?
Alright, big man now.
Oh, fucking hell. You took the whole thing. You're such a bastard, you know.
Poet, in his usual flash style, decided to completely destroy the list of MCs that we had up in the wall and then proceeded to rewrite his list of 10, which contained 90% of the artists that were already on the wall. So he could have just left them on the wall.
Some people just feel they gotta do what they do to feel like they're in the room. Like some people can just sit back and feel like they're in the room, but some people have to do shit like rip the names off the wall. Today was the first time I met the brother, so I know if that's within his character, whatever, innit? I'm not gonna jump out of my fucking, throw my toys at the pram for that kind of shit.
First of all, man, if I rate Tinie Tempah, that breaks my heart, big man. Tinie, you're up there. Man, trying to look like you're a gimme can. I walk alone, because I was born alone. My trips are just for fun, I'd never even call her phone. Up there,
so you're saying none of that top 10 is in your top 10?
No, I'm just rubbing it up.
He just wants to write himself.
To taking all the things off the wall, we could have done it verbally and it would have taken about half the time because what they were doing was essentially just writing down the same names over and over again and sticking them on the wall when they could have just said Ghetts.
You can't do that, bro.
Krept Konan.
Was already up there.
No, it's not, no, it's on the first.
I said it was already up there.
Oh, sorry, Jade. Yeah, Krept Konan, lively.
You're just going to take up the rest of the 3 minutes of the debate.
Sorry people, but you know, life.
Can you just hurry up then?
Chipmunk.
Couldn't you have just taken down the ones you didn't want?
Funny story, I didn't. Rich.
He was already up there. You can just say
As he's writing it, he's thinking, you know what, I should have written it. Now I have to rewrite the whole thing.
Ripping down all of them didn't make any sense. He ripped all of them down, but then he wrote 90% of what was already on there. So he might as well have just taken one off and put one on. The whole purpose of the game was for there to be a bit of spice in it. So it was obviously going to be very difficult to take somebody out and put somebody back in, but that's just the whole point of the game.
You stand there, take off one, put one back on. All fine, like 3 people did it, then Poet gets up. What did he do? Take off the whole thing and put up a whole new 10. But did he put up a whole new 10? No, he put up one different and the rest of them were the same 9. Like, what's the point? But obviously Poet, he seems a bit excitable, so. He's a cool guy, don't get me wrong, but he seems a bit excitable. But yeah, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. You're a cool guy, Poet. I'm not saying you're not, but yeah.
Sorry Jade, man, it's disrespectful of me. Do you know what? I forget my way sometimes. I was absolutely out of order. I was an only child for such a long time, so I'm used to getting my own way. I'd like to apologise. Spades is up there for me.
Why?
Because I think that he wasn't a name that anyone spoke about really. When you thought about Mash Time, it's always Margs, Hypo, so on and so forth. And from that circle, I think he's broken through and he's making music that I should have liked. I'm a little skinny light-skinned boy that's nowhere near gangster. I love your music. Devlin, did you watch? She's at 64. A man said, don't take offense like a thief in your garden.
Who else do we think for 2011 then?
Dubz. Because that one verse, who's doing that Femfo tune? Dubz and Scorcher.
Yeah.
So no Ghetts then, yeah?
Ghetts is definitely up there for Monster.
What about K.Koke?
I don't think he's done enough this year as well.
I'm putting in Scrufizzer.
Yeah.
I'm saying Scrufizzer's been putting in the work this year. Cause you gotta think, yeah, like Grimes being overshadowed right now with this whole road rap thing, innit? Scrufizzer's still coming hard. Like he's still being recognised within the forefront with the other rappers. And the first time I heard him, I was like, yeah, this guy's going somewhere. And I think he's done a thing in 2011 for you to know that, rah, he should be coming stronger in 2012 again. Big up to him on that still.
I'm putting 10 underneath this, the next person can pull him off the wall until there's 10 left. Number 1, I'm putting Sincere on there.
Yeah, Sincere, definitely.
I'm putting S.A.S on there.
They're hard still.
Number 4, I'm putting Bigz on there. I'm putting Styla on there.
Good, call me Ayadi. Who him?
No, that's Stylo.
I'm putting Smiley on there.
Smiley's done a lot of work this year.
I'm putting G.Fresh on there.
Sleeper.
Not in my top 10.
Hey, sexy. You wanna sex me? You wanna sex me?
What do you think, Ramel?
There's a couple up there that I like.
Leeshurr's putting the work this year.
Yeah.
I'll be with Leeshurr. That song Lego is ridiculous.
Leeshurr, A.Dot, and Lioness. They put in Roxanne hasn't put in that much this year, to be fair.
When you're talking about the top 10 MCs, you've got like 2 different kinds of music going on within the same scene as well. You've got the people that are doing commercial stuff, so is it because they're selling well?
Everybody that I've put up there are people that I think have made consistently good music.
There was definitely a few in there that I just didn't think should be in there, but there was a few in there that should have been in there anyway.
I'm just saying, yeah, this has got a bit silly. We're just adding 10 to the bottom. I thought it was supposed to be 10. I want to put more than 1, but I thought, let me be sensible about this year. I'll take 1 and put 1 up.
You can't pick 10. It's always going to be like, oh, you didn't think about this and you didn't think about that. How do you measure the 10? Is it work rate? Is it how much money they made? Is it this, that? The final way that we ended it, everyone said someone they respect because there was 9 of us. I think it worked well, but still, people are going to have their faults. And I know loads of MCs that are hustling and they're doing well, but others may not see that hustle. So doing a top 10, you're never going to have a happy ending.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One other person can jump in, we all pick 1 each. That's 10.
I think that Lady Leeshurr should definitely be in the top 10 because of the work that she's put in this year. Like the way she's come from being a Birmingham artist that not a lot of people even knew about at the beginning of 2011 to now obviously being on the cypher. Her F64 is sick. Everyone's talking about her. She's only tiny and she's sick.
And the artist I'm going to put in there is Ghetts. And the reason why I'm going to put in Ghetts is because I feel at this year, he at least 2 years ago was on the forefront of everything. Ghetts was like the biggest artist in the movement, so on and so forth. And I've seen a lot of artists, when they're extremely big, will just fall off and then you're not even mentioning them now. He's managed to still stay relevant somehow. Like, he's still managing to do F64s that are sick. I saw his SBTV the other day and it was just sick, just spitting fire. I heard him on his Share Light tune.
Yeah,
I'm not meant to like the Share Light tune. He went absolutely ham on that song. And I know when you're thinking about it, the people that you're around, like Rich 3-2, he surpassed him to some extent. Devlin surpassed him to some extent. Even Scorcher got signed, so on and so forth. I think Ghetts was probably thinking like, bro, I was in front of everyone and now I'm at the back. I think he's still done well, to be fair.
Okay, so I'm going to throw into the mix LowKey. I think he has to be there. Yeah, he's been around for a long time in the scene and he's been grafting and grafting and grafting, and this year it's paid off massively. I've got a soundtrack to the struggle. I listen to it all the time. Like, he's proved himself and he's proved that you don't need a label and you don't need to change what you do. And also the content that he's coming with is conscious. For me, he's there.
I'm gonna choose Krept Konan. They're gonna be doing their thing, Punchline King.
I don't think they should be in the top 10.
They've done better than Leeshurr this year, and that's my bread.
With the Oats video that they did, I think there was just a lot of hype around them.
Regardless of that, prior to the Otis, they put in mad work all the time.
Maybe it's not that, then maybe they didn't need to fake the views.
How do you know that?
We don't know that.
6 million views with however many comments.
I think it was sick. I'm a fan of them, like, yeah. But as far as the actual views, if you look at the views that Jay-Z got for the Otis video and look at the views that they got, it doesn't add up. The quality was dope. They're sick.
I was saying Krept Konan because they started touring and these men are from my end. Certain things happen in their lives and they've been consistent with music. What was their mixtape they dropped? Tsunami, yeah? Got to number like 3 or 2 in the hip hop iTunes charts and that, yeah? They started touring with Skepta. They're talking to labels and that, and coming from where you come from to certain things, that's a lot. And not only that, man can't deny their talent. Fuck views. Whether they did it or not, you can't pick a duo that's doing it better than them.
I'm running with English Frank still because for me he's a bad motherfucker. I like his bars. He's got some intelligent shit to say, and I think there's a lot of MCs are missing that medium ground where it's kind of like you come in with your shit in terms of your hard and shit, but you're not saying shit. English Frank separates from the rest because he actually sounds like someone who's quite intelligent. So when you can have a conversation with him that's outside of the normal bullshit of like, yeah, man's moved these many keys in it, da 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 da, whatever, waste.
Frank's one of the only rappers that talks about the street shit, but talks about it from every level. Doesn't just glamorize it. So you can tell with Frank that he's really been through it.
He's saying, people, let's just be real. And people try to get on him for like burning stuff. What are you getting on him for? He's being real. Like, I can't lie to you, I went to school for a long time. I went uni and dropped out. I don't want to be educated all the time. He just says things that I can relate to, my dad probably can relate to.
He doesn't give a shit what anyone's gonna say. People put in that whole negative thing because, like you guys say, when he's burning Gucci and shit, they know that that's an attack on what they're doing and how they're choosing to live their life, and it makes them feel a little bit stupid.
I get the vibe where he's basically saying, alright, it's not cool to be conscious, yeah, because it's not considered road, yeah. How about I'm gonna be conscious, but I'll punch you up if you've got anything to say about it. I like that vibe, innit?
I think in my top 10 MCs of 2011, I'm going to put someone who has not necessarily grown as an artist or as a lyricist or produced anything different from what they had done this time last year, but who has had huge success, and that's Wretch.
I don't think anybody could deny Wretch being in the top 10.
I don't think anyone wanted to argue with that because there's no debating the fact that he's done very well this year. Whether he was as talented this time last year or writing lyrics as fantastic as he is now, he has certainly come very far, hit the mainstream and made a lot of people see that his music is great, and in doing so I think has like rocked this year.
For me, Pepstar just has something about him that I feel like next year is going to be a massive year for him. He's very different purely because he can rap. I wouldn't say he's the best producer. He makes some real nice stuff that you can listen to that is really good.
I'm lucky enough to say Pepstar's one of my close friends, so I'm always in the studio with him. Do you know what? People are really going to see next year. Very talented.
So every video that he's done, I've been paying full attention to. I just think he's sick.
You can tell he likes music. It seems that a lot of other people are into this shit for the hype, innit? For the kind of fake glamorization of what this fucking thing is really about. But for me, Pepstar just seems as someone that's like genuinely into fucking music. And people need to realize, like, look, don't start rapping if you don't like music. You ain't getting as many hoes as you think you're getting. I just want to get that out there, you know what I'm saying?
He's just a really humble and nice guy to hang out with, and it does help a lot, because if you're thinking about someone that's going to go on to kind of be in the public eye, you don't want someone boring, which he's not, but you want someone that everyone's going to like. He's a likeable guy, and he's working hard, and he's got a lot of good ideas. We were just talking about the role reversal video. Sick.
I know certain people are going to scream bias, and no disrespect to Krept Konan, but you saying that they're the best duo out, I'd have to give it to S.A.S.
I wasn't sure with certain people's choices because it just seemed a bit like some people were going for their friends, which is cool, but I just wasn't feeling like it was a genuine answer. Since it's probably the night this year, truthfully, I think he was picking some of his friends in it. But he says that those are his friends that he likes. He's friends with them because he likes their music, or he thinks they're dope artists, or he becomes friends with them to make music with them. I understand that shit. I would have liked to hear someone that was out of your circle. I'm not even trying to get at Snips, because I actually like Snips' comments. Like, he's probably the only one in that fucking room I really want to listen to. No offense.
I like S.A.S.
I like S.A.S.
That's not to take away from Krept Konan.
If we're talking about a duo that's killed it this year, you're gonna say S.A.S?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a lie. They have done more than Krept Konan this year.
How many videos Krept Konan put out this year?
But how much of an impact have they had?
How much of an impact? We're not talking about videos.
Yeah, but this is my personal. So if we're talking about impact, we're just gonna go with all the rappers that have sold the most.
Ability-wise and rapper-wise, for me, I have to say that S.A.S. is better than them. But Snaky Man had a point where Krept Konan had made more of an impact in this whole urban music scene than S.A.S. had. Next year could be a very big year for S.A.S. This year, I feel like, for whatever reason, it didn't really pop off the way that it should have done. Still, S.A.S. are better rappers for me.
I'm just saying, who do you think, duo, who's done more this year? This year, bro.
Me personally, I would say S.A.S. Still, like, if you compare what's actually been released, yeah, put it track to track, video to video.
Paranormal Activity 2,
which had everyone on there.
The one
with Lewis.
Oh, what are you talking about, videos?
Yeah, these are videos, bro.
Videos. You're saying about released year, they had Tsunami, who got to number 2 in the iTunes chart.
I think S.A.S. are fantastic. I think S.A.S. are probably one of the most underrated groups within this country, but unfortunately for me, I don't think they've done enough this year when you compare them to their competition, and their competition surely has to be Krept Konan. I feel they've achieved more over the past year. Obviously, S.A.S. has got the added pressure of everyone knows they're good, so they've got to work twice as hard just to impress everyone.
I'm not taking away Krept Konan, but he's saying they've done their thing. So
this year, they've done an album, they've put out 2 mixtapes, they've collabed with mad people from Chip to Wretch. Who else did they?
But so Krept Konan.
What, with Chip and Wretch as well?
Yeah, Wretch. Look at the Paranormal Activity. Get old double S bars. They got me with Skepta.
Cashtastic. They're on Tinie Tempah's new mixtape.
They're on Tinie Tempah's new mixtape. They've done madness.
But anyway, man, ain't denying that, bro. S.A.S.
Likewise, I'm not denying it. Yeah, we're just talking about duos, obviously. I need to make it clear I wasn't disputing that Krept Konan should have been in there. Definitely not. I think that's sick. The argument kind of went best duo, and obviously my pick was S.A.S, so it is what it is.
It just all got a bit crazy, and people are arguing about S.A.S and Krept Konan. Cool, Krept Konan, that's who you want in your top 10. Like, for me, I'm not really feeling Krept Konan. I don't know, there's not the relation there, like I'm not really feeling them. And yeah, they've worked towards what they're doing or whatever, but for me, like, Krept Konan didn't really make it into my top 10.
I'm kind of shocked that I thought of this myself, but it's someone that I didn't really used to like, because I think, oh, you're cocky. Loads of people said you sold out and all that kind of stuff. This year, he was like, nah, forget all that. I'm back. Chipmunk, he done his thing. He changed my whole mind frame on him. I thought, do you know what, this cocky little dude, man, just get out of the way. But now, when I heard Transition, I was like, do you know what? This is alright, you know. I'm like, okay, I can dig this. And it made me think he's not as arrogant and cocky as he used to be. You know, he still is, because at the end of the day, he's still him.
Can I point something out with Chip as well, yeah? And this is gonna upset some people, but you know, everyone's like, oh look, Tinie went real and he did the Racks on Racks freestyle. Dappy did this and came back to show us that he can really spit, blah blah blah. Chip started that trend. Alright, everyone sees me as a pop artist, but let me just black out on the beat, show people that Chip started that, and then you saw Dappy do it, then you saw Tinie do it. Not to diss them, but they obviously realised, actually, us artists are considered as pop artists, we can do that and actually turn things around and show that we can actually really do this. So you got a big chip up for that, definitely.
Yeah, I completely agree with Ramel on that as well. It's almost like he got lost for a little bit and now he's back just as big and even better than he was before, because he's got that life experience behind him and he's going for it, and that's it.
I wouldn't even go as far as saying that Chipmunk was lost. I think that from his younger days, he studied the game, and I know that Tim Westwood did say to him one time in an interview that after interviews he'd always say like, how do I get on the radio and whatever, and he did something and it worked for him, but I think he realised he didn't want to do that anymore. And this year he said to himself, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want to do this time, and I want to show people that I can spit, and I want to spit over the beats that I want to do, and he's done it really, really well.
So who did we say?
We got Chipmunk.
Everything on Tinie.
I'm gonna disagree with that. Tinie's being in the top 10. I don't think he's a good enough.
I do think that's just quite crazy. I think Tinie Tempah should definitely be in that top 10. I think he's developed as it goes. When I first was listening to Tinie Tempah, I've never really looked at him as a great MC or a great rapper, but as he's got older and he's experiencing things more and he's paying more attention to the game, I definitely think he's developing. And that freestyle that he did with J. Cole and Rhett's Free too, he absolutely killed it.
Don't rate Tinie Tempah.
I just don't think he's in the top 10.
For this year, Tinie Tempah, this year. Obviously it's all preference, but I think if someone's done well this year, you have to be like, they've done well based on factual evidence. People that I'm saying I feel have achieved things is because they've crossed over to different countries and they've appealed to a wider audience. Let me tell you something, Mobile Awards, yeah? Hear what I'm saying? Because you haven't heard nothing I've said, you've just said I don't give a f. This is Liverpool fans for you. They come up to Tinie Tempah and Chipmunk, they said to Chipmunk, what's your biggest achievement this year? He goes, oh, Wretch, my brother doing well, so on and so forth. They went up to Tinie, they said, what's your biggest achievement? I just went platinum in America.
Platinum in America making pop music, no rap fan in America.
That's not a good song. No one in America gave a fuck. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
You live in America.
Oh, wait, you went to America, and what people did you go to? Because I know, for you to go platinum in America, someone has to care. At least someone. There's only one person.
I think when you look at it realistically, he's done great things. He has made some fantastic records. I don't think there's much debating that he should be there, but people have their reasons for having cons with that.
I thought as an artist, you have to paint a vivid picture in someone's head. I know loads of good spitters, but I don't know loads of good artists. I can't understand their story or their journey. And I think Tinie Tempah has to be respected as a good artist. Reading the stars.
It's alright.
It's alright.
No rap fan in America gives a fuck. Pop people bought that record, yeah?
I've always thought like, right, he does his pop music, but not only that, he's dropped mixtapes and he's got a tune with J. Cole and Rich and that. He's shown this year that he can do pop music and kill it, and he's shown that he can boss. Tinie should be in here because as an artist, he's proved himself 2010 and 2011, and I think he'll carry on making proper music. But I think also as a lyricist in certain things that I've seen on YouTube, he does his thing, like the new tune with J. Cole and Rich on his mixtape. He done really well lyrically, and he did his own version of Racks and Racks and Racks. He came with the bars and that, do you know what I mean? So he's shown that he can actually come lyrically, but then also make good music. So he's definitely up there for me.
I've seen Grind Daily videos of him spitting. He can spit and he can go and make music, so therefore I think he should be appreciated for what he's achieved.
Me personally, Tinie's made good pop music, but doesn't deserve to be up there.
He's not amazing, but he's done well. Lyrically, he's not amazing. He's not doing all these crazy metaphors. It depends what you like. If you're into metaphors and if you're into punchlines, you know, presence, some may argue that he doesn't deserve to be there, or some may argue that he does. I think he should be in the top 10.
He knows what he's good at. That song J. Cole and Wretch, he's not meant to do that.
Let me
What? J. Cole and Wretch ate him up on that tune. Alright, so you got a cab number or something?
You know what? We're talking about best rapper, yeah? I could name 20 rappers that would eat Tinie Tempah.
Snips is a Liverpool fan, so obviously they still talk about the days when Kenny Dalglish was playing. That was a long time ago, to be fair, Snips. So take a snip of what I've just said and understand.
If the criteria is who's the best rapper and who actually went in harder, made consistently good music, rap, hip-hop, grime music, not pop, Tinie shouldn't have been in there. I could have picked another 10 rappers who I thought should have been in there over Tinie. Smiler, G.Fresh, Styla. If we're looking at sales, then yeah, obviously it would have been a totally different list. Pro Green wasn't mentioned yet. He probably outsold most of the people that were there. But boy, it's my opinion, innit?
There's certain conversation I just don't get into because it's silly from the start, innit? One of them for me was Tinie Tempah being one of the best MCs of 2011. Sorry, I have to laugh at that shit, you're nuts! You think Tinie Tempah is one of the best MCs of 2011, we are not listening to the same fucking music, innit? If you do like Tinie Tempah, or if he's in your top 10 MCs of 2011, fair play, but he's not in mine, innit? That's what I'm saying. I find it laughable that he is, but hey, whatever, innit?
You're going mad! This is the same guy who said you say something all the time.
Say what you're saying, cuz.
Listen!
I said no.
As an all-rounder, Nas made a
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shut the beep up. Like, they just talk over each other, they talk too loud. They don't seem to realise that if both of you were talking at the same level shouting, no one's gonna hear you. It doesn't work like that. So you need to all just be quiet and kind of have a bit of an order to it. Try and take your turn, otherwise we're getting nowhere.
Got a bit crazy, you know, a lot of people wanted to voice their views and a lot of testosterone in the room. I just wished more people was listening to Jade, because because at the end of the day, a lot of people didn't answer the questions. Personally, I was impressed with the names that came through, but there was a few names that didn't get in there. I feel like maybe Dot Rotten should have been in there as well. I'm surprised G.Fresh didn't get in there. He's done a lot as well. But then again, it's all about this year, and some people may think certain artists didn't do it enough, whether they're big or not, but they didn't do enough this year.
Listen. So you're saying, yeah? So
wait. He's got a point. Are you not?
Everyone be quiet.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I'm not saying your turn.
The worst thing is, I can't remember now. No, what I was going to say to you is, yeah, if you had one person to pick, who would you put if it wasn't Tinie Tempah? That started this year.
What's the criteria? Rapper that I think has made better music than Tinie Tempah this year. Out the hat, sincere.
There's people shouting and moaning and not really going anywhere, not really proving any points. I just wanted to find out, who would he put in there as a replace of Tinie Tempah? He said Sincere, and that's a debate in itself. I do think Sincere could be in the top 10. I just think Tinie Tempah, that's a difficult one, man. I don't know.
I think the way the debate ended shows just how passionate people are about the artists that they choose to listen to and how strongly they feel about the music they're producing, which is a really good thing, because if we have these opinions and if we feel this strongly, that means that there's a whole load of you guys out there who feel just as strongly and who are going to continue to support the music and push it forward, and that's what matters.
I never listened to Dubz. I just heard the top layer of what they were doing. This guy's not a rapper, whatever. When I heard that freestyle over Racks on Racks, I was like, you know what, he's fucking insane.
My man said, same girl that we run through is the same girl that you treat nice. Now that is a real nigga. That's real nigga talk. That educates certain man that you can't be like Drake.